Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is One-on-One with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, we got a very, very dope, talented brother, man. I'm talking about resident Blerd, producer, writer, comedian. We got the one and only Chaz Rodgers, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm great, man. I'm hiding in my daughter's room. Okay, got my stuff in it. My printer. This is my stuff in my daughter's room. You see what I'm saying? So if you hear a little voice knocking on the door, I'm not kidnapping nobody. That's my daughter trying to bust in her own room. Okay?
Now, my question is this, because I watch your town hall meetings, and every now and then you be in your daughter's room.
I'll be in here. I'll be in here.
So, like, how old your daughter? You got a young one, right?
Yeah, she'll be 4 in about a month or so. Yeah.
4. So she talks a little and everything like that.
Talks a lot. A lot. Her vocab is good and she talks a lot.
So when you are doing these type of things and you are in her room, does she ever bother you?
All the time.
Yeah.
If I'm in here, it becomes the Izzy show, and then she'll get bored and she'll run off, and she's like, I want to talk to the people, and then she'll come back in. Hey, there's multiple ones. If you everybody look on the screen and you see lives, and I'm in this room, Izzy is somewhere close. She started a couple live. I was like, I gotta do something. You stay here, and she'll just be like,
I know, like kids and pets are like just the easiest grab. You put that there, you don't gotta do it. The kid can just be there, just sitting there being a kid, and you're gonna get like 1 million views.
There's a thing in Hollywood where people hate working with actors and hate working with pets. I mean, with kids and pets, right? It's like you can't. Once they're done, they're done. You just know getting them back, right?
Right.
But like also when my daughter comes on, because pets do the same thing. It's like, hey, it's the me show, right? Yeah. You be like, hey, come on, and I might be mid cuss word. I'm like, enough. And Frank, frankincense, whatever.
But like, I mean, that's dope. But like, before we get into the whole meat and potatoes of everything, man, shout out to the Drink Champs because they made this more popular. But I on our show, we like to give people their flowers while they're here. So one of the things that like I realized about you, one as a person, and just as a talent, like one, like you are the living embodiment of pivot. Right, like you came out and you pivoted like so well into writing, directing, producing, where stand-up is your origins, but like you were able to jump through into those and then also into this digital world. Like I feel like even prior to the pandemic, you were already doing virtual things. Like and so it was like you pivoted at the right time, and you have so many properties and so many things that you have your hands in that are not only necessarily a hit, but they're for the culture and even the conversation that you guys have on daddy issues, like the core of the podcast of it being just fathers talking about just things that they go through and black
random conversations
a lot of times. But like see the thing about if you are somebody who views daddy issues a lot, or even Lacaroni and Chaz, like when you view these, like the stories that y'all intertwine with your conversations of talking about the business, talking about being a black father, being a black man, the black mental. So I want to make sure that like the community, the people that watch you and the stuff that you put out, man, it is so important to the culture and so important to black people. And we do appreciate everything you put out, man.
I appreciate that a ton, dog, because you'll do stuff. And, you start off, you be like, well, this got 1 view. And it was me making sure it was up, right? Just making sure it was and you know what, man? Yeah, when I do the lives, I got about a dedicated 15 to 20 people now. I mean, but it's also like it starts from zero. You know what I mean? And so it even within this year, you just keep growing and you keep growing. And yeah, behind the scenes, it's crazy because like it means a lot more. But trying to get on YouTube, you're just like, hey, you ain't shit here, right? You go like this is a million people, so it's like, yeah, you got to work hard and be about something enough that people want to come back and watch you. And hopefully you give enough game, you give enough value in different areas, whether we talk, on my lives, we talk a lot of anime, we talk a lot of business, right. And I'm down to answer that. We talk a lot of relationships and it's like, and it is important for Black people to see that, especially and that was growing. I was like, a lot of younger dudes watch me now, and their ambitions are to get into business, or just like, yo, I got a kid coming. Because I get a chance to be a fun dad, right? I get a chance to be a young dude. Me and my daughter, she's very familiar with One Piece. She's very familiar with Demon Slayer. She shouldn't be watching. You're right. You shouldn't be watching that.
Hey, listen here. We're of the Blerd community. We all, you know what? Whatever. Because my 4-year-old daughter, the same thing. We were just watching Mob Psycho. It's just
of course.
You should not be watching this. But hey, listen here. You have to know.
I was watching John Wick at 2. She was like, oh, each thing. Oh, it'll be fine. Therapy for you.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I love that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing, even about daddy's issues. I'm a fan of podcasts because I love people's POV. That is my, I don't have to agree with you, but I love to hear how people's thought process. You can say the most wrongest thing ever to me. I'm like, all right, I disagree wholeheartedly, but now I'm interested in how did you get to this thought process, right?
How did you get here?
So that's what I love about daddy's issues the most, is because one, it's so many different POVs, but there's never been a question that none of you guys said, we're not going to talk about that. Somebody will bring up the wildest topics and say, all right, fuck it, we're here, let's go. And you usually have the wildest hot takes. But
because I'll think of something and I'll be like, this makes sense to me. This shouldn't be a right answer, but let me see if I can get them to see what I'm saying. And then
it's between you and Craig, if I'm not
100%.
Yeah. 100%. But also, this is what makes y'all podcast such a great podcast. Because there's podcasts that I listen to and I'm just I just do a lot of But y'all podcast, I be wanting to be in the conversation. I'm like, yo, I need to. So I'd be like, and they're like, so I'm in the chat. I'm using big red emojis. Hopefully they see my question or my answer, because I need them to see this. But that's what makes it such a great podcast. Anytime I can catch a live, I love catching the lives for sure, because it is that community. And I love how you guys address the live, y'all whole collective. And that's one thing that I respect about you guys so much. I've grown up watching all deaf and watching all that's right. So, and I've had that fortunate enough to interview people like you, and to hear and Kev and CP and CT, and and now I'm working with CT and Dion Lack and Will Ferrell on Straight Out of Comic Book. I'm doing stuff with them, but so but it was y'all are just such grounded individuals, to the point where it's you guys have individual fan bases, but it's still we all come together. So it's if I watch Daddy's Issues, right, and you say something, and then I'm watching you on Damn Internet You Scary, and you reference something, I'm part of both of those communities. I can be I remember he said that, and it feels like family every time, every week.
I mean, we've all, for the most part, we've all known each other for 10 to 15 years. You know what I mean? I've known Dion, CT since 2008. Tony, of course, we were roommates. I've known him 2008. Keenan, I remember Keenan first starting stand-up. You know what I mean? I've seen these dudes. CP, I don't know so well, but here, same, man. I mean, cats and gave each other rides for over a decade. So we know each other very well. And just and then we're a community, we are our Black stand-up community. Stand-up community in LA is one thing, and every city has their own community, right? And then us being Black is a whole different. Sidney Castillo, we are Big Jai, you know what I mean? We've all known each other for a long time, and so you get to see cats grow up, you see your friends get married, you see your friends have kids. See this whole world, and it's always frat, you know what I mean? It's always these are your brothers and your sisters, and my thing is I always think of us as the Avengers, and it's you got some guys that you got your core Avengers. When I think of like Ev, Tahir, Tony, Big Jai has his own thing. I go like, there's a guy who have that, and then you have like, do people love the Daredevils? Do you love there's so many other. Shang-Chi just got popular. I remember reading Shang-Chi a long time ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shang-Chi just got popular. And I'm like, there's people out there, that's their favorite character. So it's their own representation. So when I find people who go like, I agree with Chaz, how do I agree with Chaz? I'm like, I found my family,
Yeah. Well, I think
like, you agree with me.
I think it's that Blerd community, because here's the thing. Like I was I interviewed Laz Alonso, right? And I was telling them one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't go to an HBCU, right? And I'm like, I love everything that an HBU stands for, that Brotherhood, pretty much the same things that I said about, you guys, right? Yeah. And he was like, I get that, but you got to understand, because he identifies as a Blerd as well. He was like, Blerd is kind of like an HBCU. He's like, because we look out for each other. He was like, we make moves with each other behind the scenes. We support each other. It's this community. And I looked at that and I said, yeah, that's right. Because, like, even like there's Black community, comedians, there's stand-up, like y'all got y'all collective, but there's very little Black comedians who does the anime reference, right? Like I heard you do it. I've heard Roxy Hayes do it. I heard Keon Poley do it. Tony, it's like you hear only a small, and it's like, oh shit, that is something that's like a new category. These Blerd comedians, right? And it is that. It's like now knowing where I'm at, like I'm already like I'm trying to think ahead of the future because I've been able to talk to so many comedians and figure that out. I'm like, ooh, man, I've been going to all these comic book conventions and everything. I wonder if I put together a Blerd comedy night and get these niggas paid, but also put like, how dope would that be?
Hey man, you understand, bro. It's not often, it's not at all that I can go somewhere. But man, that's like that time with Krillin. You know what I mean? There's no
right.
That's like Frieza killing Krillin.
So it's like, but is that
never?
So that's something like, what I'm saying? I've been thinking heavily on, because like one of my biggest, so I'm trying to make my podcast be like the Breakfast Club of Blerds, right? Where it's like when you think about like a musician, right? They want to go to the Breakfast Club, Sway's Universe, I-95, like they want to go there and drop them bars with Flex and everything, because that's like that's their end goal. When you're an actor or a director, like you want to hit that late night circuit, you want to get and everything like that. But if you are a Blerd, right? Let's say you do dope cosplay. Let's say like you may, if you pop off, you may end up in like some of the hip hop streams, but you really have no place to be celebrated. And because I'm such a fan, I'm like, I'm going to create that. So like that's kind of like what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to, like, if you do drop like a amazing set and then you have that Krillin joke in it, I want to be able to like highlight it, but the people who will get it appreciate it. Like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Like, I want to be able to do that for people. So it's like that's one of my biggest goals, is to try to just bring this Blerd culture to new heights in so many ways.
Yeah. And man, it's like it just crosses race. I've been like, Blerd's cross race, bro. We are and Black people, man. I don't know what it is about Chinese, Japanese culture, and vice versa, but Black people mess with it heavy, and Asian people mess with Black culture heavy. You know what I mean? It's like for some, we're like kindred spirits across the world, but like there are so many references that because how much like the Asian culture, even like, man, the first time I heard Korean trap music, I said, hey, this goes hard, dog. This is harder.
I don't know what they saying, but
I don't know what they saying. But they be like, I'll be like, I just killed 27 people in Korean. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's also some of our like hip hop heavyweights is just so tapped in to like Japanese, Chinese culture. Wu-Tang Clan is all that.
Man. And even when you go back to like Bruce Leroy. Last Dragon.
Yeah, Last Dragon. Oh my God, we both blanked out.
yeah. But even when you go back there, you go like heavily influenced by Asian culture, Bruce Lee in general. I told somebody before, we did a whole episode about gay date. Mine was Jackie Chan for multiple reasons. You know what I mean?
I remember that episode.
Like one of my biggest influences in oh man, just dropped my PS5 controller. Yeah, kiss it. it's like one of those things where I go like heavily influenced by that dude. The comedy, his physicalness. I was influenced by him more than most comedians because of how he was able to be in the behind the scene. I'd be like, this dude is so brilliant. We'll never ever give him credit for his brilliance. I will by myself make a statue of Jackie Chan somewhere in my yard.
That's how I feel about Bruce Lee. Like I tell people all this. Have you ever seen his dojo mansion, bro?
The what?
Bruce Lee's dojo and his dojo mansion. So his mansion it's so ran down. And I'm like, it's for me, my dad and I grew up on Bruce Lee. I'm talking about everything. So when I see the state of it, I'm just like how? Why? And then I'm like, I don't think that they realize how much of an attraction that would be if they preserved it with all his stuff and then turned it to a tourist attraction. I know that may be normal to y'all, but you know how many people out the States would be like, I gotta go to Bruce Lee's dojo.
I think Bruce Lee is buried in Seattle, and people go to his monument all the time here. You know what I mean? Just to see his monument. So it's without a doubt. Man, one of my goals is to have my own Japanese garden in the back. I got no business, I can say 6 words in Japan, but let me get a Japanese garden. I want the cherry blossoms and a creek and the emperor little buildings that all kind of come down.
Man, listen,
I want all of it.
So I recently went to Chicago and I went to Chinatown. Now I didn't realize in my life that I'd never been to an actual Chinatown. Like you see it in movies and TV shows, but I never actually went. And when I went, I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like all this traditional Japanese and all the traditional Chinese food and all these Chinese restaurants, and then going to like traditional manga and Chinese stores that sell merch and everything. I'm seeing figures. I'm like, I ain't never seen Goku and Chi-Chi in this wedding dance that they do. Like, I'm like, I never seen this figure. I saw the most amazing Tanjiro figure it was in full Chinese. So I'm like, I didn't even know what it said on the box. But I'm like, that's clearly Tanjiro. But the figure probably was like this wide and like this big. And you had all the stuff going. I was like, I'm not getting this at like GameStop or like I was like, I'm like, I need to
LA has a trash Chinatown. No offense to Chinese. It's not that dope. The San Francisco Chinatown is only like 6 blocks, bro. 6 to 8 blocks.
Yeah.
And you got to climb up this hill to get there. So you got to really want to go. Right?
It's a whole mission. It's a mission.
It's a whole mission. And we just went this summer, bro, for like 3-4 days. I was in Chinatown every day walking around. Like I hung out in Chinatown every single day. I love to look around and be like, and then there's a show, I don't know if you watched it, called Warrior on HBO Max. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so here we go. So Bruce Lee, there's a show back in the 70s who starred David Carradine, who died. He's the guy who hung himself doing this self-sexual asphyxiation. He was Bill, okay? He had this show called Kung Fu back in the 70s, okay? Kung Fu was based on a show that Bruce Lee created called, I forgot the main character's name, Sima, something like that. Anyway,
I'm looking it up now.
But they took it. But they took it and they put a white dude to star in it because they didn't think that Bruce Lee was going to sell it, and that became Kung Fu. David Carradine had no Kung Fu experience whatsoever, so they stole his show. So decades later, Bruce Lee's daughter revamped it and made it Warrior, and it was supposed to be about Bruce Lee coming to Chinatown, finding his way.
I remember that. Yeah.
So now we're back in like when Chinatown is just starting. It's an influx of Chinese people coming over here, right in San Francisco, and you get to see it like in the 1800s when it's dope, bro. The action is dope, and this dude does his best Bruce Lee, for the most part, and it's a great show. But I'm like, the actions be dope, and I was just like, you get a lot of the culture, and you get it from a Chinese perspective, which you never get. Never.
You're right. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, and there's one of them shows where if you offended, they gonna say some shit. You're gonna hear some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that's a great show.
A question that I like to ask a lot of Blerds, and it's a 2-part question. So first, because everybody has a little bit of nerd in them, and you have that moment. What was the first like fandom that you were like so like captivated in. Like to give an example, like for me, it was Power Rangers. Like when Power Rangers first hit, like you could not tell me that I wasn't a Power Ranger. Also, side note, I put it in the chat when y'all said it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers do still hold up. I just watched it with me and my daughter. Me and my daughter.
Listen.
Hey, it still hold up.
You watched the first episode with the rapping toad? Is that the one you're talking about?
I watched the whole season with her again.
There's no way you watched the episode with the rapping toad and it said this holds up. There's not possible.
So there's levels to holding up. That's what I'm saying, right? Like I'm not putting it up against Marvel, but for a kid show and still to have that kid, like that essence, like it's a solid kid show. Like what is your top, like what are you holding above that as kids show?
Well, Ninja Turtles is the greatest cartoon ever to me.
Okay. So that's still all right. I see where you at.
That was when I was like, well, I'm Raphael. I was like, that's me, 100%.
Hey, shout out to the Raphael. So Raphael, Ralph's my favorite too. You know,
that's my dude, bro. Yeah. From the cartoon to the movies, I go like, oh, I love the tough guy. He's like, hey, y'all can say whatever y'all want. I don't need y'all. I love y'all, but I don't need y'all. You know what I mean? You can see that's me on daddy issues all day. I'll be like, love y'all. Y'all. I can do my own. I don't get dumped by 30 ninjas. I'm gonna take out 29.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've always been a huge Ninja Turtle fan. And then it goes into like, you know, a lot of 80s cartoons, like Transformers was my thing. But Ninja Turtles was really the one where I go like, I'm gonna be a Ninja Turtle for Halloween. I had sheets, curtains, like it was like Ninja Turtles. Like this is what I'm Raphael. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what?
I have these guys.
You know what? I've been on record of saying I think the problem with today's youth is that they don't want to be ninjas no more. So remember when we grew up, I mean, there was 3 ninjas, there was surf ninjas, there was Ninja Turtles, even the Power Rangers was doing ninja stuff, karate. We wanted to be ninjas. Like we was whatever form of ninja, we wanted to be. I know I used to be, I don't know why, but like the white key was always so dope to me. So I was like, I always wanted to be a ninja. And I was like, man, we don't have kid ninja movies no more. Kids don't want to be ninjas no more. That's the problem with today's youth, man.
No, me and my brother used to walk around and be like, you can't be heard. We're trying to tiptoe around and we thought we were wearing black trying to disappear.
I don't remember. I can't recall how many times I got in trouble for making paper ninja stars in school. Like
I'll beat you there. We used to make horrible. We used to take ping pong balls, fill them up with baby powder, and try to make a smoke bomb. It was awful. Never worked. Never worked.
I never even thought about that.
It never worked one time. Like, poof. Damn it.
But like even then though, because like I remember learning how to do a backflip, and then I remember when I mastered the running up a tree and flipping off it, you could not tell me that I wasn't the coolest person in the world.
You're certified ninja at that point,
right? And I'm like, I be driving through the hood and stuff like. I'm like, I don't see no kids flipping no more. I don't see kids doing none of that no more. Like,
you used to get a dirty mattress that you flip on. You find with a couch. Flip on it.
That's like our first thought process. You see something like, I'm gonna do a flip off of that.
Okay. You'll see somebody break their whole neck and be like, he did it wrong. And still try.
Remember the powerhouses? Remember powerhouses?
Absolutely.
Bro, like
trying to die.
Because you will find the biggest nigga that you know, the biggest kid, because you know he gonna launch you
right. I thought it was like, man, I could definitely say Ninja Turtles was like the biggest fandom to me. I mean, I was a huge Power Ranger fan, no doubt. I think I had, when they hit like Power Rangers Zeo, I was like,
when they got the whips, I stopped. Like, because remember because they turned to ninjas at some point, and I was still on board. But then when they started, when they had and those, they look like PT Cruisers. I don't know what type of vehicles they had.
I was like, okay, I was like. Then they went back to ninjas once, and I was like, "It's too late for me."
It's too late. You already took me off. I'm on to something different now. All right. So
by that time, I was probably watching Dragon Ball Z. I remember Dragon Ball Z used to come on. That was my first. There was this anime I watched years ago. I didn't understand it, and it was called like Yo-Yo Girl or something like that, if I can remember. My cousin was really big into anime. It was a movie, but I remember, man, it was like a whole rape scene in the beginning, and I was like, "Yo, what is this? What kind of cartoon is this?" And I'm like,
"Hey, that's why I do not like Goblin Slayer at all.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer is the like out of all anime, if I can pinpoint my worst anime, I got Goblin Slayer that low. And because it had an unnecessary rape scene in it. And here's the thing.
Like,
and when I rank anime, like my whole thing is like I need characters that I can latch onto. And at that point, like I usually I try to give an anime or anything a full season. I got up to like episode 8, and I'm like, I'm still not attached to any character. I just want to see these goblins die by anybody because of that horrific rape scene. I said, this anime is not that good. I don't care about any of the arcs besides seeing these goblins.
You know what? I did watch that. I did watch that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Goblins are just out here doing too much.
Yeah, and it was like that's
like pick your own kind. What are you doing?
Right. And it was like that was my only attachment to the anime. And I said, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this, and I didn't finish it at all.
I tapped out. I think either after the first or second episode, I never went back either.
Yeah. So
like, nah,
so the second part to that, because this is where our blerdism comes into. So you said, like I said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you moved on to Dragon Ball Z. What was the first anime cartoon that you identified with, where it was like where you saw yourself within it?
Great question. I want to say Young Gohan. So probably Dragon Ball Z. When he was a kid training with Piccolo.
Yeah,
it's really when I was like, yeah, I felt everything for that kid, bro, because he's just like, oh, there's a war coming and there's no choice. You got to get ready right now.
Yeah,
and I'm a grown man. I'm not taking it easy on you at all. Yeah. And this reminded me of like when we were playing football. I remember when I started playing tackle football for like a rec team, I was 8. Every other kid was 10 or 11. I had to play kids 2 to 3 years older than me because that was the only team there was, right?
Right.
And I was getting smacked up. You know what I mean? I was the smallest one out there. There was no other team. Yeah. I had to play with my brother's team, and I was just getting beat down. Boom, boom, hit. And I remember my mom was like, "You can quit." And I was like, "No, I love it." Right? It was like, you know, I get hit, cry, get back out there, you know. And I remember this coach was like, "Dude, it's tough."
Yeah.
And I was like, if nothing else, little Chaz is tough. And I always like kept that. I've always been like, hey man, you're gonna have somebody bigger and there's gonna be challenges and you gotta work through it. And I remember watching young Gohan fight Piccolo, and then when the time came, when Frieza and them actually got there, young Gohan, he didn't run.
Nah.
He didn't run.
Nah.
He was just like, I'm about to do what I'm trying to do. And he's been my favorite until, you know, they ruined him later on. But but even when he went and fought Cell, about that life, I said, young Gohan, bro, teen Gohan, about that life.
Now, have you watched the latest movie? Because they kind of gave him a redemption.
No, I didn't. I was trying to catch it in the theaters, man. And I was like under the gun for trying to get, I always had to make a choice. I go, you can spend 2 hours in this movie theater and enjoy yourself, or you can get this work done. Either way it goes, I go like, you don't, because I gotta go be a husband, I gotta go be a father, I gotta go, you know, get this right and done. And it's just like, I'm gonna be able to watch it. And I go like, if I heard you gotta see it, I probably would have went, but I didn't hear anything that urgent. You know what I mean?
You got to reevaluate your anime group, bro. I don't know who's in your group chat.
I just mean in the Lord. I know. I never heard. You gotta see this, like Demon Slayer.
I'm gonna put it up there. I'm gonna put it before you move on Demon Slayer. I'm gonna put it up there as a you gotta see it. So my take on this movie, and I tell people all the time because I've seen the tide shift against Dragon Ball Z. If you are a Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super fan, you are going to love this movie. If you are a Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super hater, then it's going to give you more to hate on.
I'm not a huge fan of the Super for the Super's sake. I'm a huge fan of Gohan and Piccolo.
Oh, so you would absolutely love this movie. And so
I'm a huge fan of Krillin also.
Yeah, this is not a spoiler because it's been in, but this is a Piccolo Gohan story. This movie is all focused around Piccolo and Gohan, and it gives so much more to their relationship and their growth. Right. So you're gonna love this movie. Yeah.
And then I was like trying to find times after I finished my project, and I was like, damn, I'm not to get this, man. But yeah, man, sometimes I just got to be like, you can go spend these hours, bro, but you can't get that time back when you're trying to finish a deadline.
No,
Dog.
no,
It's
and
like,
I feel you on that, bro. Like that, like, but because like I said, you are writer, producer on so many shows. So, but
it's
like,
like
but it also makes sense why you do like Gohan, because the writing of Gohan as a character up until they messed it up was some of the most amazing writing.
well, I'm not even mad. They didn't mess up Gohan's character because there's a lot to be said about a guy who wants peace, right? Like
True.
there's a like Chi always wanted Gohan to study, and Gohan's a fighter by nature. He's the Saiyan, it's in him, right? Like that makes sense. So for him to actually go to school, do what his mom says, you see how Gohan could have been the most powerful Saiyan of all time, but he chooses to study these books and he gets weak. This is what happens when you stop going to the gym or something like that. You can't do the same,
Yeah.
So then he has to go get these powers and get his unhidden strength and all this other stuff that we see. And so then you see Gohan being like, "Hey, I should have never stopped." You know what I mean? I should have kept this muscle going. I should have kept training. Like my dad, it was always training, but yet my mom was like, "Go get these books." Like since he was a kid, he had to go train and go study, which is every mom. You can shoot that basketball. I know you can open these books. Like, okay, all right. Chi-Chi's a black mom all day,
Chi-Chi is a black mom because like you gotta think about it. Just like a black mom, the dad who may be more powerful always bows down to the black mom. Like no matter 100%. what,
you don't want no problem.
You don't want no problems, and she has the most. I'ma come up there energy. Yeah. Like what I'm saying. Anytime somebody, if you can't find Goku, I'm gonna go find him. If somebody messing with Gohan or Goten, Chi-Chi pulling up. Like
shout out to Chi-Chi, bro, because Chi-Chi ain't left. Chi-Chi had plenty of reason to be like, "Hey, dog, like, are you gonna come take? You've been dead for 2 years. He went straight to the fight."
Here's a hot take for you. So, in the same room as Chi-Chi, Bulma may be the smartest anime character in all of anime history. We've said this on the podcast because you got to think. You think about Bulma, who she is, and Capsule Corp. Like, yes, she inherited from her pops, but you got to think when they had to go to Namek, Bulma legit found the spaceship and said, "All right, let me figure this out," and then
time traveling,
right? And then not only that, she said, "All right, so Saiyans like to travel, like to train on lower gravity. So let me build this training facility for my husband." Like, and then the fact that she has invented something where within a capsule, it can either have a full buffet or a full house or it's like that technology alone is like, what is that? Like,
I've always said that. People are like, I hate Bulma. I'm like, y'all tripping. Bulma's MVP out here.
MVP.
And this is why you see some characters like, I wish that they took care. Here's what Dragon Ball Z fails to me. And this is why it's never going to be one of the greatest anymore. Because you failed Yamcha, you failed Tien, you failed Piccolo, you failed to keep them. Because Tien always trains. You know what I mean? Yeah. He ain't gonna pull up, but he's never getting any stronger. And that little I forgot his homie.
Oh yeah,
but, they always pull up. Yeah, and same with Krillin. Like they're always gonna the Z fighters. They're always gonna pull up. And Yamcha's now like, I can go, but I'm just gonna die. You know what I mean?
And, oh yeah, his whole core is shaking. He's Ben Simmons right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
you guys need me just to take an L. Like 10, he goes to, and I'm just like, they should have found a way, and they almost did it with Piccolo when he merges with Nail, and he was as powerful as a super. I'm like, you got to keep that going, bro. I'm like, you don't get to just stop, and now he's weaker, and now and he's a genius. He's a fighting savant, right? He's a strategist savant. So it's like, dog, let him get that plus the strategy. I'm like, this is what he does, and I was like, they just failed too many characters except for Goku.
Well, I think that with that latest movie, it showed them that they can do a movie that's not Goku Vegeta focused or do something where I do believe that, for the most part, because remember, Gohan was supposed to take the helms, and then Toriyama, he said, no, the fan base, they really want Goku, so we're going to stick with Goku, and then that's when they kind of changed that up, right? And I think that he never because even he still forgets people and forgets characters. Like he still is stuck in, or was stuck in, well, this is Japanese Chinese culture, so I'm only going to cater to them, right? And I think just now he's realizing like, oh, the world actually loves this property. So the fact that we got a whole movie that's Gohan Piccolo focused and it's been successful. I think that now they may switch it up like, oh, okay, we don't only have to just give every win to Goku or every win to Vegeta. Let's explore this. Cause like, yeah, I tell people all the time, like Dragon Ball Z, because of the Dragon Ball in general, because of the special place that it holds in my heart, it's always going to be in my top 3. But I acknowledge that it's not the best story. But as far as like whatever same adrenaline that you get from watching sports, that's what I get from watching Dragon Ball Z, right? You know, but because when I talk about the big because when I think about the big 3, like Naruto and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and even One Piece has a better story than Dragon Ball Z. Like I've seen people legit cry on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Naruto. I haven't really seen too many people cry on Dragon Ball Z.
No, also, man, like when you did it at the top, it became a caricature of itself now, right? Because when I watched, I came to One Piece mad late. I'm just watching. I'm like 170 episodes in on One Piece, right?
Okay, wait. Which arc are you at? Did you get the Skypiea yet?
We just hit Sky Island.
Yeah, okay, that's one of my favorite arcs. You're gonna love this arc.
We just got there. She just got it's what's her name? Homegirl at this island, and she just kind of overhears that. So she's there. But like when I watched One Piece, I saw so much Goku and Luffy. There's a lot of it. So I was like 100% inspired. But when I think about like one of the best animes I've ever seen, until the very, very end, when I watched Cowboy Bebop, I go like, bro, I wish they had kept this going and not. Well, I don't want to. It's just been done for 25 years. Not kill them at the end. You haven't seen it by now. It's spoiled. Plenty of time.
They know my people knows that these conversations
are spoiled. Plenty of time. I hate when people be like, spoiler. I didn't know Darth Vader was his father. I'm like, that's 40 years ago.
Right. That's like somebody saying like spoilers. So Jesus came back.
Right. Like this is the oldest book. I'm not sorry. It was 20 years.
Everybody has the stereotypical on what a black geek is. Are you familiar with the term blerd?
Blerd, no.
Right. Some people said it came off of Scrubs. Some people said it came off the internet. I don't honestly really know.
Don't you see the skin, the eyebrows, the hair?
Yo, my geeks still rock, you know what I'm saying, Dunks or Jordans or whatever.
Did I do that?
It's exciting. It's like, holy, oh my dog is gonna start barking.
It's all right.
She's excited about it too.
And same as you said, like a barbershop talk, like we would go into really in-depth conversations about these theories and like, well, what if and how come?
It's not unusual to be
right, but we talk about anime, video games, comic books and stuff like that, but when you hear us talk about it, the passion sounds like we arguing Jordan and Bron.
What do you mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Like, it sounds like barbershop talk.
Because you don't know the history, don't mean it ain't happened, dog.
You broke that down right there.
But when you see the black geek, you don't see that. You see the socially awkward glasses. Well, this is me. And that's not a lot of us. A lot of us do sound and talk like us. You know what I'm saying?
Because it becomes stereotypical, as if that's where our strength comes from.
I don't know the geek that you talked about before. I know the geek you're talking about right now, though.
It was sort of a call sign so we could find each other on message boards.
Anime gives you life lessons throughout that whole thing. Like, there's not one anime that I know of that doesn't teach you to never give up.
It's just like, I just love seeing us go into the world and go into these different spaces and create things that weren't there before.
And then it was like Miles Morales is like the normal, black person in the United States.
That was my first Blerd moment, was seeing, Storm on the X-Men cartoon series. And I was like, wow, that's a black woman and she's strong, she's powerful.
That's what I want for us. I want us to be that voice.
So, here's what I love about the Blerd community, and this is where I said black culture and hip hop culture comes together, is because we have these type of conversations that certain people don't have. There's this collective called Animelytical, and they had a conversation, and it was like, what is the MJ of anime, the LeBron of anime, and the Kobe of anime? And so what came about was so they were saying that like MJ is to a lot of people was considered near perfect, right? So they was like, okay, so what would be a near perfect anime? And the three animes that got tossed around was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mob Psycho, and Yu Yu Hakusho. So I wanted to kind of get your takes on like what would you consider the Michael Jordan of anime, like the most near? Is it Cowboy Bebop that's near perfect, or do you have anything above that?
Cowboy Bebop is like the Patriots in 2000.
Okay.
They won 19-1 but lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you guys had one of the best seasons until the very end. To the very end. And it's not that it was a bad choice. You just wanted something different. And I go like, and also because it was also like, damn dog, we was rooting for this. And then it wasn't a fumble. It wasn't like a Game of Thrones fumble. You know what I mean? That was a fumble in the very end.
More like a Dexter fumble where it was like, did you watch Dexter?
I was like, this choice? Yeah, I did. But I was just like, man, when it comes ending a show is really hard. Okay. Ending us isn't it like there's a choice and the audience wants something, and all these writers go like, what's best for our characters? What do we want to see? What's interesting? What's compelling? How do we have a good send-off? You get people who did like The Sopranos, but there's like, nope, there's no real ending. And it's like, that's a cop-out, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
When somebody makes a hard choice, I applaud them. Because even with Ozark, I was like, damn, I don't agree with the choice you guys made, but
it was a hard
choice. Because it's very hard. Just like we can do this or we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, well, it's kind of a toss-up. So what are you gonna pick? You know?
Yeah.
And so Cowboy Bebop, I go like, damn, dog. But it was like one of the perfect seasons you can have. I got 0 notes until the end. Like, and then when I watch Spy Family, there's a lot of Cowboy Bebop and Spy Family.
Man, yes, there is.
Heavily influenced, I think, by Cowboy Bebop. So I still see the effects of that. But I don't put Mob Psycho in an MJ category. I'm like, y'all had 2 seasons.
Well, because they're saying that if this third, so what they said, they were saying that with this third season, if it is as dope as season 1 and season 2, we need to throw them in the conversation as perfect animes.
Absolutely not. You don't know, because Naruto has 800 episodes. Dragon Ball Z has God knows how many.
So that was my rebuttal. I said, how come one of the big 3 is not within this MJ consideration?
Kobe, 18, 19 years?
Yeah.
Jordan had the least amount of years and won 6 championships. Has Mob Psycho? I don't think Mob Psycho's been the best anime out.
No, like Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan on their ass. Like Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan for the past Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan for the past 3 years have been running anime.
I just told somebody recently, I'm like, man, when I watched what was it, Ranking the Kings, I go like, you giving Mob Psycho a run for his money, Ranking the Kings.
I don't know, I ain't going that far with that.
I'll tell you why. I love having this conversation, because one thing that Ranking of Kings did that no other show has made me root for somebody so hard as I rooted for. I can't remember his name right now, the little dude.
Fuck. I know you're talking about, but
I was like, Ranking of Kings had grown people crying from episode 1, had grown people crying about how he was treated, how much he's trying to fight, all the things and adversity that he had. I said, it's one of the best character developments I've ever seen in anime, ever. Mob Psycho does not have that character development, not even close. Not even close.
Not for Mob, but for some of the other, not for the protagonist, but some of the other characters they have some really good character arc. But I get what you're saying, because like what you're saying is the same reason why I got Attack on Titan so high, because I rooted for, like, I'm still on Aaron's side. Like, I'm sorry, no, because like I got onto Attack on Titan so late. And so I'm like, all right, I remember this on Adult Swim. So I'm like, let me try it out. And so I'm like, all right, I know the premise is these giants and they taking over a city and they causing destruction. I didn't know that he was going to see his mom get bit in half and his mom blood was going to splatter on his face. Because when that happened, I said, oh, whatever he on, I'm on. Like, and
I'm not mad at Aaron. People are like, Aaron's gone too far. I'm like, no, Aaron saw his. You guys planned this attack,
Right.
There's a scene when Aaron goes into that city. There's kids there. There's people there. They're all, and he transforms anyway, fully knowing that he's going to kill all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yo, Titan for Titan. Y'all didn't worry about what was going to happen.
I didn't care about me or my I was just chilling with Mikasa. We was just doing kid shit, and y'all just fucked up everything."
Right. And the walls with nothing, and there's Titans inside the walls, and you guys are like, "Bro, this is a lot. This is a lot. This is world domination we're doing." And Aaron said, "Somebody's going to win this war. It's going to be me.
It's going to be me."
Very Jordan-esque.
Yeah. And then okay, all right. So are you putting Attack on Titan as a Jordan?
No, I'm not. I can't put Attack on Titan on there because I got to see how they end this thing. I got to see. Like we haven't seen the end of LeBron's career, but I saw the end of Kobe's and I saw the end of Jordan's career. All right, I got to watch those end their careers because the ending matters.
It does. It definitely does.
So somebody putting Mob Psycho up there after season 2, I'm like, y'all tripping.
Okay.
Y'all tripping. That's what we talk. What? No.
I'll go back. So like, cause like one dope thing about this Blerd community is Twitter Spaces. There's so many Blerd related Twitter Spaces, like from Tuesdays to Fridays, and so I be in them all at night. So I'm gonna make sure I bring this back to them. Say, hey man, y'all know who Chaz is? Yeah. He said y'all tripping.
I'll go as far as say they don't know what they're talking about.
Oh,
okay. That's how far I go.
Standing 10 toes.
You talking about 18 and 20-year careers of people who won 4 championships, about to be the all-time scorer, and we're talking about Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho is, you know who Mob Psycho is right now? You're John Morant. You're John Morant right now. You got all the potential in the world. Okay. You're a killer. You're all that. You ain't done shit though in the league. You're not a Hall of Famer. What are you talking about?
All right, I actually rock with that. That's not that. I thought you was going to go way more disrespectful or something, but no, that was
because Mob Psycho's dope. Don't get me wrong, Mob Psycho's dope. But when I look at other stuff, I go like, nah, dog, you're not close to here.
Yeah. All right. So what? You still haven't established your 3: Jordan, Bron, and Kobe.
Right. So here's where it gets different because Jordan is always going to be one of my top 5, even though I'm a Pistons dude, so I'm not a Jordan fan per se. But we're not going to ignore what he did.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to remix this a bit, but I'll answer your question. Dragon Ball Z is Bill Russell. Okay.
Okay.
People complain about who did they play? They didn't play anybody back in the day. Right?
Right.
But I don't care what anybody says. Dragon Ball Z is probably still one of the greatest animes of all time. No matter what they say, from Dragon Ball all the way to what they've done now is crazy. You've been rocking since the 80s, and people are still tuning in every single day. And you just released a movie. You get GOAT status no matter what. No matter what. Dragon Ball Z is GOAT. Okay. All right.
Okay.
When you talk about the most winningest anime, okay.
Okay.
And I don't. Did you read? And this is why I'm going to say this because I read the manga for Demon Slayer. Did you read it at all?
Yes.
So you know how it ends.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer gets up there.
Okay.
And I can't go off the anime because there's only a couple seasons. But once you read the entire manga, I go like, if they do that and if they keep going on the trajectory they're doing, they're one of the best animes to do it.
Okay.
Like, there's no way. But that manga is insane. It's crazy.
It is. Yeah.
It's crazy. And I go like, they got it right 100% of the time. 100% of the time.
Okay.
The only person who ever argued that is Ice. I don't know if you know Ice from
I don't know Ice, but I'm familiar with Ice. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ice, I go, no, it's Ice. Yeah. Like he's gonna say that, but I gotta put man, because I'm waiting on Jujutsu Kaisen. To me is that next thing. Like,
so that's
I go
LeBron.
like, I can't give him LeBron yet because that's but when I look at Naruto, I go like, hey man, you went from Naruto to, and I hate Boruto, bro. I'm telling you, I
haven't given it a shot yet, bro.
I watched that mug. I hate it, but I'm like, I love the world they created. That's me and Kobe. That's my Kobe. I hate you, but I respect the hell that you did, because as dope as Naruto was, Boruto, to create this entire world that I want to see still, Doug, it's very Star Wars-esque, bro. Star Wars makes trash shit to me sometimes, but I go, man, I love this world so much that you created that I'm all in, and I love to see what you come up with and all the different jujitsu's. Not Guy, Rock Lee, one of my favorite characters. Period.
Same.
So, like, hey, bro, y'all ain't creative characters.
Hey, I realized something. I feel like you got the same thought process as me. Anybody any nigga who good with them hands, I kind of gravitate towards too. I kind of gravitate towards the brawler.
And it's because Rock Lee is not supposed to be this good.
Yeah.
He's got no ninjutsu, he's got no jitsu. You're not supposed to be this good.
Yeah.
You know? And he doesn't mind getting his body completely shattered and still go train. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My man was crawling.
Like,
yeah. I feel like, dog, you're not gonna find a person with more grit than him. Not even Naruto, who actually has an amazing talent. He's dealing he had a whole demon inside him, whole different thing. But he's a social outcast, but Rock Lee was still a social outcast in the sense of no one thought he could fight except for Guy. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and I go like, hey man, we're not gonna skip over Naruto. Some people disrespect Naruto and they be tripping and they haven't watched because 800 episodes intimidates them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the same thing with Kobe. People disrespect Kobe sometimes. It's like, no, I'm tripping. So yeah, I get it. Okay, I like that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because they'll be like, I'm not gonna start. Like I said, I just started One Piece. I know it's 1,000. I ain't no bitch though. You know what I mean?
Hey, so I watched Naruto late, and I had that same thought process. I was like, people were like, well, here's the list with the without the fillers. I'm like, no, I gotta watch it all. I was like, I'm watching it all. Fillers, like the beach games episode. Yeah, give me the beach episode too. Let me watch it all.
I do. So. So I'm gonna have them in there. Jordan. Who did I say was Jordan? Did I say Jordan yet?
You said Demon Slayer if they do based off of what the anime does, and then you said Naruto. I'm gonna put Naruto as Kobe. So now we left with Brian. Who's the Brian?
So I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna put the Demon Slayer as the Brian.
Oh, okay.
He's the youngest to come through, even though he's been in the game for 20 years.
Okay, I feel you.
Which is crazy, dude. Yeah. What LeBron has done. So my Jordan, bro. This is a tough one, okay? Because we're talking about one of the greatest champions of all time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's easy to go Dragon Ball, but I gave that to Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? Gold status. And this one might not be everybody's I'm trying to pick a couple. It's hard for me to say this, man. I really want to say Brother Alchemist. I go like, man, you guys got it right. You made a story that we cared about these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and even the powers and the technology that they did back in the, I'm just like, you guys, they got it right, bro. It's Brotherhood Alchemist is one of the best. I was gonna go Death Note or
somebody threw that up in there too. Hey, I'm not mad at Death Note either. I am not mad at Death Note either. But like
Death Note, not a lot of action in Death Note, right?
Well, not a lot of action, and so this is where the only reason why I did put Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as my Jordan is because I said Death Note it brought out emotions, but the two emotions that they did, it wasn't action, and I wasn't sad really at any point. I felt every other emotion, but I was like with Full Metal Brotherhood, I was sad at some point. I felt anger, especially at old girl's pops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you did this.
Oh yes. When you realized what was happening in that episode, you said, "Wait, what?" Like, oh my god.
But that's also how I feel, and I don't know what their plans are for Ranking the Kings, but I had jaw-dropping moments in Ranking the Kings. Man, that dude who was guarding him, pushing him down the hall was like, yo!
What? Like, that's what I love about anime. Anytime somebody says that they don't like, they're not into anime, like, you know, and not trying like somebody who's not trying to be funny, but like, they're like, I just don't know what to get into her. Like, I tell them, like, yes, get past that. You're looking at cartoon images. Because the stories is some of the most amazing stories that you'll ever.
I'm like, and I tell people, when people ask me about writing, I go, if you want to learn how to because I also love Black Clover, bro. Black Clover is one of my favorites. You know, Black Clover is probably my AI. I'll be like, that's my Iverson.
Oh, I like that one. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? But I tell people, man, like, if you really want to learn how to write and make good characters, especially for sitcom, you watch anime, because in sitcom, your characters are who they are. They don't change, and they kind of operate through this point of view all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it's the same with a lot of anime. It's like, oh, Luffy going to be silly, crazy. He's going to be hungry. But when it's time for action, he's going to be right back. I forgot the dude with the long nose, what his name is.
Usopp.
Usopp's always going to be scared. He's always going to be a little hoe. But he still gets a job done one way or another. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that's most, I can do the same. Every character they had in Black Bull from Black Clover, everybody's always who they are 100% of the time. The one dude loves his little sister so much, no matter what they're doing. He's his little sister, you know? Yeah. And I really great training for understanding how to look at the characters to the point of view. I'm like, man, you want to talk about some great storytelling? I like anime understands that, and this is why stuff has been going on for 30 years. Dragon Ball been on for 30 years.
Man. Forever.
Like probably damn near 40.
Forever. I listen here. One of my greatest accomplishments in life is I done watch Dragon Ball Z and Super so many times, because every time one of my kids, so I got 3 kids, and anytime they get to like 3 or 4, I'm like, hey, guess what we're gonna watch? We're gonna watch Dragon Ball Z on. And so each of my kids, they all look like, I created a household that loves Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. And I feel, and to me, that is an accomplishment as a father and as a Blerd.
You should be very proud. You should be very proud. Because for my daughter to be like, I want to watch One Piece, I'm like,
right, like you know, Christmas and birthdays, I can get them figures and Funko Pops. Like, I love this. Like, you know, my whole studio is anime, comic book, video.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I love living in this lifestyle where, like, oh man, all that stuff I used to love as kids, now I can love it as a grown-up and still share it with my kids and still make money off of it by doing like interviews and talking to people and going to these conventions.
My family tried to get Izzy into Disney. I was like, hey man, she went to a Naruto themed birthday party. Yeah, and she came back with action figures, and I was like, well, guess what time it is? Yeah. It's time for the 9-tailed fox, baby. Right. This is what we're doing out here.
All right, so I got 2 more segments before I get you out of here. So we do this thing called hypotheticals. It's kind of like questions that you guys have on Daddy's Issues, right? Okay. So I want to ask you, I got 3 hypotheticals. Well, all right, first one, which apocalypse would you be able to survive the longest? So a zombie apocalypse, an alien. None of them. Well, you got to pick one. So zombie, alien, or robot, which one would you be able to survive the longest, you think?
Snap, bro. Which zombies we talking? Are they them fast World War Z zombies, or
let's go off a walk. Let's go Walking Dead zombies. So the traditional walking zombies.
And then like I need specifics on these aliens. What kind of aliens we talking about? You talking like the alien from from the movie Alien, or are you going into what was the movie?
Let's go Independence Day.
Independence Day alien. Oh.
Yep. And then for robots, we're going with Terminator robots.
I'm already going zombies. I wasn't even gonna mess with the robots. I can't make an MP. EMP. I can't do that. Whatever. I don't know how to put these wires together. I can't do none of that. I'm so unhandy, bro. I can't start a fire. I can't survive in wilderness like of any kind. I'm dead.
Bro, that is the realization I had doing these hypotheticals. I said, I need to touch up on my Boy Scout skills, because I'm like, I believe I can make fire, but I never had to make fire on my own. So I don't know if I can.
I might just be like, hey, we're gonna be zombies. You know, we're gonna be a zombie family. We're gonna stay together. We're gonna eat brains together. Same thing. Right. Is that we're gonna be. There's no way. The Walking Dead, I feel like okay, I can probably get by for a while. It's the other people who mess with you more so.
It's definitely the other people, yeah.
And people, I'll be like, I'm not worried about y'all. These zombies be creeping up on you. So I gotta go zombie, man. I can't do alien.
So which zombies is worse to you then, do you think? Walking Dead zombies, the Resident Evil style zombies, or let's say like the 28 days later, the ones that run, or Z, you know, which was worse for you?
Those aren't even fair, bro. Like also, here's my thing with this. Here's my question. Why? This is straight from Dion Lack. Dion Lack had the perfect point. He was like, "Yo, how many people run that fast ever? How many people are that in shape?" He was like, "You don't see no fat zombies chasing people down." He's like, "They ain't gonna be that fast." He's like, all of a sudden, the zombie has great metabolism that he can keep this pace up for that long. I said, "That's a great point, Dion. There's a lot of out of shape people right now. I should be able to outrun, but these guys got super. Where are they getting this undead super speed from?
I don't know.
How is that possible?" I said, "That's a great point, lad.
That is a great point.
There's no way you're surviving. I'm not trying to survive that. I'm not.
You wouldn't want to be in the zombie apocalyptic world.
I'm gonna join them at that point. Like, yo, bite me right here, fam. You know what I mean? Like, just bite me. I go bite my daughter. We'll just be a zombie family. I'm not.
All right.
I live my life with this 20,000 zombies, a horde coming at you.
All right. So last hypothetical: if you had superpowers, how long before you use them for personal gain?
Immediately. What do you mean?
Because some people's like, you know what, I'm only going to use this for good to help people. But it's like, what started this hypothetical, I was like, having the power of electricity almost guarantees you're going to be a villain, because it's very rare that you can do this and look not threatening. Like when you do this and the lightning comes out, no matter if you're there to save the day, you look menacing. And so it's like menacing. There's no, and I was like, and at some point you're gonna be like, well, fuck it then. If y'all don't want me here, I'm gonna use it for myself. And you know, because like it ain't like you get superpowers and now you got money. Sometimes you get superpowers, you're still in the same living situation you are. So at what point do you like, all right, I can teleport. I'm just gonna rob the bank real quick for a little bit. Like, what?
Bro, there was this one comic book issue of Spider-Man where his car gets towed. Okay, and they have it. He's like, you know, as Spider-Man, he's like, I could go over there and get my car, but that'd be the wrong thing to do. I'm like, go get your car. Go get your car,
right?
Like, you deserve that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're fighting robots. You're fighting vampires. Go get your car.
Because I was like, because Marvel is dealing with that now. Like we saw the Falcon couldn't get a bank loan, and it's like, I just saved the world, the whole universe, not even just the world. And you mean that y'all can't give me no money to help my sister on her boathouse? Like, bro,
but he's still black.
I know.
But still, that's the main problem, man. He should have sent Winter Soldier in there. If he'd have sent Winter Soldier in there, yeah, hold on, no problem. Also, I'm like this, bro. I go like, there's no way in the world. I have what I call my superpowers. Okay, I'm creative. I think I use my charm. I use it all for evil all the time. You know what I mean? I use all my powers to try to get money, influence. I do. I don't ever do it for somebody else's gain. There's no reason for me to walk up on some old lady and just make her smile for the smile's sake. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't say that's evil though.
Nice.
Because you want to get paid for your talent. I don't think that's evil. It'd be evil
to get paid for my talent. That's it. I'm not trying to, oh man, this guy, he's in an electrical fire. I'm like, if I can't do it from right, I'm not running in there.
but if
you're running in, if a building is crashing, I'm not going in there.
But if you have the ability to stop the building from crashing, you still not, unless you get paid. So now you handcuffed. You handcuffed then.
What if a building is? Here's the thing. I go like, have I experienced a building fall on me before? You know.
Well, it depends on what your power is. So let's say you are indestructible.
Until what point though?
You wouldn't. Okay.
No. Am I gonna test a building fire? No. No. This is my first time as a building fire. I'm like, I don't know. I've never had a building fire. I don't know if I can take this.
Wait, stop it in front of a disaster when superpowers are saying, wait, is this my limit or not? Like,
I don't, how do I know if I haven't done this before? I'm gonna be like, whoa, time for me to drop. Then everybody's at my funeral, like, he was so brave. No. I don't want an Iron Man funeral. No. No, people step in front of a bus. No.
But I mean, you have to at some point know the extent, like your level, right?
It depends on if there's a plane that's crashing. Let's say I stop the bus, right?
Right.
Okay. I know I can stop a bus. Let's say there's a 747 jumbo jet or plane that's crashing. That's a very different. We're talking very different speeds, weights, gas, explosion. What? I don't know if I can take that.
You definitely don't. But like I said, it's with that great powers come great responsibility.
How much responsibility do I have to have? If I stopped in front of a bus, if I was like, oh, I'll stop this bus, right? Oh my God. Spider-Man stopped the train in Spider-Man 2, right? He didn't know he could do that. If there was a plane coming at him, you expect Spider-Man to go stop this plane now?
Well, because that's because he keeps on here. All right, who's the person?
Great power.
Who's the person that gives you the most advice in your life?
Me. Just I look in the mirror.
Because I'm like, because you know, Spider-Man, what fuels him is he hears Uncle Ben always echoing that great sponsor, great power. So, like, if somebody gave you that speech when you got your powers, and somebody said, "Hey, Chaz, man, listen," you hear it in Tony Baker, one of your best friends. You hear it, and he tells you, like, "Hey, with great responsibility, and with great powers come great responsibility." So, in that moment,
mind your goddamn business. Mind your business, bro. Mind your business. You tell me what to do with my powers? The hell?
All right.
I'm not stopping no building from collapsing. I'm not standing in front of a bus. I'm not taking a bullet. I don't know if I can take a bullet. Have I been shot before? How do I test that?
I don't know yet. Right now, the only test that we know you stop the bus. That's the only one we know so far.
Because then I go like, okay, great. Let's say I accidentally get shot by a stray bullet and it doesn't go through. I'm like, oh my God, I know I can take a bullet. I know that now.
Yeah.
But if I go like, I've been pretty strong. Let me see if I can like, what am I gonna go shoot myself on purpose to test it? What are we talking about?
You ain't doing the testing montage. You know they always do it when they get the power. They're like, oh, let's test your power, see where it go. You ain't gonna test to see how far you can go.
They would do less of those if somebody killed themselves. Somebody was like, you got limits. They have limits. You know what I mean?
Who's the first person you telling if you get powers?
Not my family. You know, I'm gonna sit there actually. None of them. Nobody here. My family, they ask me so much shit. Can you go here? Can you do this? Me with powers? Please, bro. I'd never get a break. Definitely not them. Are you married too?
No, I'm not.
Oh man, it's enough. I would never let any of my immediate family know I got extra. Never. I get enough. Well, you want to meet my daughter? Come here, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll come show me. Say what's up, Deuces.
Hi, Deuces.
Hey, what's up? I love your hat. I love your hat.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero is Hulk.
Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you use your favorite Hulk?
Because Hulk's smash.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right. We love Hulk, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You would have to tell her. You would have to tell her you got superpowers.
You could be the main one asking me for stuff. Daddy, can you make me a super sandwich? Oh, no. You ask me for stuff all the time?
Yeah.
I love her energy.
She's a ball of fun, aren't you? Okay, let me finish, okay? Let me finish. Get out of here, you. You got to shake up the kids, man. You
definitely do. My daughter's that same age. My daughter's my youngest is that same age. Yeah.
Hold on, let me finish, okay? Okay. Oh, you played Deuces. So yeah, man, there's not a whole lot of extra that I'm doing. And I'll probably tell like somebody who can't talk. I'll find a friend. I'll find some mute friend somewhere who'll be like,
because they gotta be your person in the ear. Like, wait, because like once you tell somebody, you gotta have that one person who can be like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I need somebody who's going to watch my back, be my technology.
Oh, but you're still under the assumption that I'm going to be a superhero. I think that's where we're just.
All right. You're not going there. All right, man. Well, where can my people find you and what would you like them to support you
on? You guys can find me. I'm on I'm Chaz Rodgers on Instagram. You can always come up. Me and Izzy, we've got a couple sketches up there. We'll be doing some more on YouTube. I think it's just Chaz Rodgers on YouTube as well. Hold on, baby. Hold on. And hold on. Hold on. I don't know where the remote is, baby. It's right there next to you. Sorry, my parents immediately knew it.
Hey, man, I know, bro. I know.
And so yeah, you can find me there. Of course, you can watch Black Money Chaz. It's on my YouTube. I love for you guys to pull up and have those conversations, man. We talk a lot of crazy stuff. I've been doing reaction videos to 90s R&B.
The evolution of that has been hilarious because there's some songs that you definitely should have known. I'm like, how does he not know these songs?
It's funny. Everyone they mention to, when people give me advice, I'm like, never heard of this. Never heard of this. I might be like, oh, I've heard this song before. Never. These videos, woo, and I'd be roasting the hell out of them.
I know you do because I don't agree with your Candy Rain take, but still,
dog. It makes sense, bro. When you watch something as a youngster and you go, I have an affinity for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But me as a grown up, I go like, hey man, what? This ain't for me. If you heard a song right here that was for kids, you'd be like, oh, that's cute, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, man, I'm Raphael, man. You think Raphael feel that?
What?
Raphael,
nah.
Good job, man. Turn that off. And his people New York, Brooklyn accent. So you can find, yeah, those are the two places that I'm at the most, man. I'm on IG. I just bashed She-Hulk in a post, so I would love for people to pull up. I've been bashing She-Hulk for 6 weeks now. Yeah, it's an awful trash juice show. It's trash juice. It's not trash. It's the bottom of the juice of the trash. The juice when the bag is loose. That's She-Hulk. That's
I disagree, man. I disagree.
You can't. You think She-Hulk's a good show?
Yes, because right now in this phase, I've been telling everybody, like, one, I love this phase of Marvel because they're letting directors direct. Like the first 4 phases that we've gotten of the movies up until then, and even the properties, like a lot of them have all been just superhero movies. So this last phase that we're in, the reason why Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness felt the way it was, the way that Eternals felt the way it was, like everything, you know, and even with this, like you're getting themes now just involve superheroes, right? So when I went into She-Hulk, I was like, I know this is not going to be an action pack. This is legit a sitcom. This is a lawyer sitcom that happens to have superhero properties in it. And so like I approach it with the mindset of like how I approach Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, and stuff like that. Like it's like I'm approaching it that way. And so I'm loving it for that. Because I'm not looking, this is one of those series that I'm not looking to figure out how does it tie into the whole main story. I'm liking it for what it is, and I want it to continue because I'm like, all these other characters in Marvel that we know are not strong enough to get their own movie or strong enough to be a focus in a movie will fit in this show for a random trial. You know, like I said, you get somebody like Gwenpool, where we know that she's not going to be a major Gwenpool movie, but she's big enough that if she has a case and we get those Deadpool tropes in a case in an episode, I'm all for it. So that's why I love the series.
See, it's people like you that waste my 30, 40 minutes on Wednesday, because that could be replaced a very dope show. They could do a whole show about the you know, the what was it called? The what was the 3 girls with the dragons? It was you know what I'm talking about? They did a little bit of it during like the whole Luke Cage. It was Misty Knight.
Oh yeah.
And there's another girl.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather see those 3 star in a show. And I go like, okay.
Story.
And so what?
That's a main story. Like that is something to be a show that you get in, that you'll get into.
Those are 3 people that no one really knows. No one really knew Misty Knight before Luke Cage. No one knows. I forgot Shang-Chi's homegirl. I mean, Iron Fist's homegirl.
Iron Fist homegirl. Yeah.
And there's another one. Nobody knows them. I go, these are 3 women who are ignored in here, who have great diversity of background storylines, who are not just here to be green and make old Ally McBeal references. You remember the show Ally McBeal?
Yes, I do.
You're watching green Ally McBeal with some new girl. Oh, I'm quirky and I'm awkward.
But why,
is that enough?
But why can't
you guys like me yet?
But why can't we have that also? Like we can have because like the show that you're talking about is going to be more action packed. What the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so big to this point now, where everything doesn't have to be action packed or main story.
You gotta have some conflict in a show, correct? Her villain, the last episode I remember hating, the one before this last one, She was in a trial for having her name stolen.
But see, that's why you're looking for something out this series that never was there. Because even in the comics, she didn't really necessarily have a main villain.
Wait a second. The good thing about superheroes or people with power is that they're dealing with the conflict of being a superhero, having this responsibility that they have, correct?
Okay.
And still trying to live their normal lives at the same time.
That's
correct?
The traditional comic book trope.
That's the traditional. So I go, okay, you had this life of being a lawyer. Oh, you still have this life of being a lawyer. Oh, you're just not happy with yourself, right?
Right.
He doesn't have this confidence, right?
Right.
But when she's She-Hulk, everybody likes her. And I was like, well, maybe nobody just likes Jen. You're 30. And she's like, nobody likes me, but they like me. Maybe it's you. Just be She-Hulk. This show is done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The show is mirroring what the comics was, because even in the comics, She-Hulk was dealing with that same thing. That's why I like it. I said She-Hulk, she was never Bruce. She was never the one.
You ain't gotta be Bruce. You gotta be interesting. And this is the most uninteresting crap to me. I didn't like Ally McBeal when it was on. I was like, why are we doing this to me? And then everybody's like, but this and that. And I go like, I just had the convo and Smarter was like, it's not that bad. I was like, if you're not gonna say it's good, then we're not having this conversation.
It's good. That's why I said I like it.
I love that you stood on the good.
Yeah, because this is the first MCU sitcom. That's why I view it. I don't view it as this is a sitcom, because just like a sitcom, every episode you're dealing with something a little bit different, but you're not dealing with the there may be a small overarching issue, but like that's something that's not going to be.
It's not even a good sitcom. This ain't Modern Family. This ain't as good as Blackish. This ain't as good as Friends or Seinfeld. It's not even like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of it's not even an iconic sitcom for Marvel. They didn't even do a good job making a regular show.
Wait, now I didn't say it was. I didn't see you put an iconic on it. I didn't like in the Marvel shows. This is my third favorite show out of all the Marvel shows. Like
really?
mine's go WandaVision, Loki, She-Hulk, and then What If you count it. I know some people don't because it's cartoon. So if I take if we count it, then I got What If in there as well. Then I got Moon Knight, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, and then I got Hawkeye all the way down at the bottom. Now Hawkeye is garbage juice to me because I only cared about two things in that. I cared about one, I was like, Clayton English is in it. I'm like, oh, that's dope. I want to see bro. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, all right, is Kingpin in this or not? I was only focused on Kingpin. Those are the only two things I cared about that show.
Hawkeye is bad and big disappointment, and She-Hulk is right under Hawkeye. It's not even close to me. If you count What If is the best show they've done. What If is number one if you count What If. And then I would have to agree with WandaVision, but I put Moon Knight way higher. Moon Knight I thought was really cool. I love it. Cool. Because even when you read the comics, you go, I don't know what's going on, but this is dope.
Yeah.
What's going on. But that was like, they really stuck to this. Izzy, come here real quick. They still stuck to this really, turn this TV down, baby. Why you look like a whole tennis player out here? But I was like, they really stuck to like, okay, yeah, this guy is nuts and his mental is breaking. And I go, he wakes up in different places and the action is dope. I go like, oh yeah, but you're way more concerned. Man, Moon Knight does a great job of giving you pieces to this guy's backstory.
It definitely did.
Why he has split personalities, and then they introduce another one. You go, how broken is this dude? And I was like,
my only gripes with Moon Knight is I didn't like the reveal of the third. I just didn't like how they did it. It was just for an end credit scene. I felt like it wasn't enough because like the way that they walked us into it, we assumed that we knew that at that point that the third was coming. So it was like just to show it like that. It was just like, I get it, but it was like it wasn't as shit, I can't wait. You know, it wasn't. Oh, sorry about that. It wasn't. Oh snap, I can't wait. So yeah, man. So yeah, yes, man.
Cut me some corn.
Can I cut you some corn?
No, cook me.
You interrupt me to cook you some corn? That's what you came here for?
Yeah.
For corn?
Yeah.
Not even a whole meal, just corn?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Go ahead, Gigi.
Going now.
Okay, back up.
All right. Well, we about to wrap it up anyways. But like you were saying, man, everybody, they can catch you out. They can check you out. And then I'm Chaz Rodgers. I'll make sure the information is down below. Do you got anything coming up?
Thank you, bro.
You got anything coming up? That,
MC Light Show. MC Light Show Partners in Rhyme drops October 13th. So yeah, that drops on All Black Network. And yeah, and the rest, man, I'm just in I just had some good talks about developing a movie, just stuff like that, man. It's just like a lot of things, trying to go way more independent on a bunch of stuff, man. I was like, I really, really want to push the independent space way more, you know what I mean? So, and it's possible. And when I think about it, just everybody fights to get on TV or they fights to get on network or something like that. And I'm like, man, you can create your own. So, you know, do a really bad job, but create your own. If you're listening, just start creating and it'll be dope eventually. But yeah, man, it's just that like really, really taking things on my own back. And yeah, man, I think I'm gonna do less TV network stuff and go more independent. You know what I mean?
Dope. All right, well, man, this has been 101 with Deuces. I've been your boy Deuces. This has been the super dope Chaz Rodgers and his daughter. And we are out.